All right, so we're live on Instagram and YouTube. So, Chris Russell said that being a small business owner can be very lonely, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, y'all. Thanks so much for joining me. And in less than 15 minutes, I am going to be sharing with you three activities that you can do to fight that loneliness that you're feeling when you are a business owner. Please like and share this video if you get value from it. And if you're watching the replay, type hashtag replay. I'm Dr. P and I'm a strategic business coach. And I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years in K-12 schools and served on professional organization committees and teaching an online psychology program at the master's level. And I remember that excitement, right? When I started as a school psychologist and I couldn't wait to get into my assigned schools and to provide them with all the supports that they needed, to be a part of a team, focus on improving outcomes for students academically, behaviorally, socially, emotionally, not to mention being a part of a team of school psychologists and a school district, advocating for the profession and really for our roles within the school district, right? And I remember starting my first job as a school psychologist, walking into a school and remembering that there were days when I barely talked to five people. And I mean, it's a school, so it's filled with so many people in the school, right? But there were days when I barely talked to five people. And it really had a lot to do with majority of the tasks that I did on a daily basis in schools. Because if I wasn't in team meetings, if I wasn't doing observations, if I wasn't interacting, in a professional development setting, there were days when I only interacted with the student I was doing an assessment with, and then I spent the rest of the day in my office working on a report, scoring out protocols. So it was a little lonely. Some days it really was a little lonely because I remember the only time I spoke to staff is when I walked through the door in the morning and then when I walked out in the afternoon. But again, it had a lot to do with how my role is set up as a school psychologist. Because being a school psychologist in the school district where I started, I was itinerant, and you mostly are in many school districts. So that means that you're not in the same school every single day. So I wasn't spending 5 days a week every day, in the same school. I was assigned to two schools, sometimes three schools, and you still had office duties and other responsibilities. So you weren't really in the same location all the time. But like I said, that's not the reality for all school psychologists all over. Because sometimes, and I even had that opportunity of working in a school where I was in that school all day, every day, So it really does depend on the setup. But I just wanted to share about the fact that, when I first started, there were days that seemed so lonely, right? And made you go, oh my gosh, why am I even doing this? But again, it was determined by those activities, right? So why am I mentioning my experience as a school psychologist is because when I started as a business owner, when I made that decision to walk out of a full-time job and walk into being full-time as a business owner, that loneliness came back up because I went from, yeah, I'm being itinerant in schools, but at least I was seeing people sometimes, to working from home, doing my own business, and it's just me, right? And I'm sure you can relate to that. It just being you, and it becomes lonely sometimes. So Chris Russell said that being a small business owner can be very lonely, but it doesn't have to be. And that is true. Chris is right. It doesn't have to be. Yes, being a small business owner, and especially as a micro business owner, we are running a business and it is usually us, right? As a small business owner. But it doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Yes, you might have some employees or you may even have a small team, but again, it does not have to be lonely. You know, you're the business owner. Yeah, I get it. You're the CEO, you're the boss. You spend a lot of time working on the operational aspects of the business and it can feel lonely. But again, it doesn't have to be. And I have three activities to share with you to show you it doesn't have to be lonely. It really doesn't. So, micro business owners are often solo entrepreneurs. Some of you, or many of you, might be solo entrepreneurs. So that means you're the only employee in your business. Or, like I mentioned earlier, you might have a small team, but you might still be feeling lonely because you're the only executive, so to speak, in the business, right? So there's not anybody for you to kind of brainstorm with at that executive operational level. So you might be feeling lonely. So these three activities are things you can do to really combat that loneliness and hopefully can reduce it or maybe even get rid of it, right? And I mean, you might even be in a larger small business and have a lot more employees. You might even have executive teams, but you might still be feeling a little lonely because even with those teams, that decision making power still lies in you as the CEO. You are the business owner, right? So in this video, the three things I want to be sharing with you, I'm sharing them based on things I have tried and also some information I got from a Vistage article and also from the Harvard Business Review, right? So in 2012, Harvard Business Review reported on a study that was conducted with CEOs and found that almost, are you ready for this? Almost 70% of first-time CEOs experience loneliness. Almost 70%. That's a high number. And why is loneliness so important for you to be aware of? Because when you're aware of these feelings of loneliness, you can start to really take a look at your performance because your loneliness impacts your performance. It impacts your decision making. But like Chris said, it doesn't have to be lonely as a small business owner. So there are three things that you can do to reduce those feelings of being, feeling lonely. And like I mentioned, I took these three things based off my own experiences as well as some information I got from articles from Harvard Business Review and from Vistage. So the first one is work with a business coach. And when you work with a business coach, here's why it can reduce those feelings of loneliness. Because one of the many business benefits of working with a business coach is that you receive unbiased feedback to improve your performance. Other benefits are that you get attention and you get a confidant. So you might be sitting there with all these different ideas and you're wondering, oh my gosh, should I share this one? Who can I talk to about this? Is this a good idea? Not a good idea. So you're just sitting there with your thoughts trying to figure out, okay, which way should I go? Basically, so with a business coach, you have that person that you can have that conversation with to get that unbiased feedback, to get that attention, to have that confidence. Basically, somebody you can talk to do your problem solving. So these three things are important for you, when you work with a business coach because you're talking about the problems you're facing, you're getting that real feedback, and that feedback provides you with an opportunity to talk through your ideas with a real life person, not just sitting down in your thoughts, but you can actually talk to a real life person. And it can be getting you with help at the organizational aspect of things or on the individual aspect of things. It really does depend on whatever the problem is that you're going through. But the point is that you'll have a business coach that you can talk to really plan through those tough decisions, or even some risks you might be thinking about taking. And you learn how to tie that feedback that you get from that business coach to your strategic plan, to your business plan, and maybe even work on some elements of your contingency plan or even your exit plan, depending on which plan you have going on that you want to be working towards. You have that business coach so you wouldn't be alone. So that's one thing you can consider. Another one you can consider is get a support system. And again, you are the business owner. You might be a solo entrepreneur. So yes, it's just you. There are tons of businesses run by solo entrepreneurs, right? But yes, it can be lonely, but it doesn't have to be that way. So a peer advisory group is really a great way for you to gain access to your peers. And by peers, I mean your fellow business owners, not just people who are in your social circle, but actual business owners just like you who can y'all can discuss your problems, use solutions that you've worked on to help you reach your goals, and even talk about your loneliness. I mean, it is an opportunity for you to be around your peers, people who are experiencing similar things to you or who have passed through challenges that you are currently going through. So in a peer advisory group or peer advisory board, there is a business coach who facilitates the interactions. But get this, there are other people there too who are offering you advice based on their experiences, right? So if you're in a peer advisory board with 9 people, think about this. You're getting advice in that session from 9 people plus a business coach. Those are 10 people. Come think about it, because just a few hours earlier to you went into the peer advisory group, it was just you. A few months before you decided to join a peer advisory board, it was just you. Now in the peer advisory board, it is you plus 10 other people. This is granted if the peer advisory group is a business coach plus 10 people. So you have 10 people that you can actually interact with, share ideas with, learn from, problem solve with, and even talk about the loneliness that you're experiencing. Point is, you're getting this support system so you don't have to feel so alone. It's like brainstorming with like a board of trustees, some people even say to me, or your own executive board, and you're not alone. You're talking to real life people who've lived in these experiences and can share that input with you. And the members of a parent advisory board are invested in the group because you joined the group so that you can get those benefits of moving forward, right? Making improvements. So you are invested in helping each other to grow and to thrive. So because of that, you are holding each other accountable for what you said you were going to be working on, the goals you said you're going to be working towards. So you have that accountability built in. So think about this. For just 3 hours in a month, you get to meet with other business owners, your peers, to talk about some problems that you're currently experiencing, even share solutions. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing. You're talking about problems, you're sharing solutions, you're providing support, giving advice, and you get to even form friendships because these aren't your employees. These are other business owners in other industries. So you get to form employees. So it's a different type of, sorry, you get to form friendships because they're not your employees, so it's a different kind of feeling with it. And you even get referral partners out of it too, because people in the peer advisory board, each one of you are coming from different industries. So here it is, you get to set up a referral network. Hey, tons of benefits, right? And the third thing is you get to, the third thing is spend time on your hobbies and interests. Because remember, talking about those ways that you can combat that loneliness. So the third thing is spend time on your hobbies and interests. And you might be sitting there going, I don't have no hobby or I don't have an interest. Here's the thing. I highly recommend that you find something you're interested in doing and not just be working, because that can work against you. Because yes, there's lots to do as a business owner, but you also want to make sure that you're not constantly working because that is going to put you on a path more than likely for increased stress, increased frustration, and even burnout. And worse yet, you might even walk away from the same business that you're working so hard on because your stress level is so high. So plan some time in your schedule to do your hobbies, things that are of interest to you. Get away from work for a little bit, meet new people, have conversations, and engage in activities that have nothing to do with work. Take a break. Spend time doing things that you truly enjoy outside of your work, because you probably started your business based on something you like, but there are other things that you like, right? And when you do this, you can reduce your stress, you can increase your connectedness with others, right? Because you are taking a break from just constantly working. So take, for instance, CEO of Goldman Sachs, David Solomon. So in this Vistage article that I was telling you that I read, it actually mentioned the fact that the CEO of Goldman Sachs loves to DJ. And he has a different name that he uses while DJing. This is the CEO of Goldman Sachs. Then the article also mentioned a study from the Journal of Psychology of Science and Technology. And it talked about the fact that people who are Nobel Prize winners are more likely than non Nobel Prize winners to have hobbies such as blowing glass, dancing, photography, or some other artistic hobby. So, what I want you to take away from that is this: even the most successful people that you are thinking about, when you go and do your research to successful people, a lot of those CEOs, Nobel Prize winners, they have other areas of interest, not just the main thing that they're working on, not just the thing that people know them for. They have some areas of interest and they spend time, they spend time involved in their hobbies and involved in their interests, right? So the point is, do something other than work. Take a break from working and stop feeling so alone, because there are options out there for you so that you don't have to be so alone. So, yes, I know I live it too. Sometimes being a small business owner, you feel like you're on an island all by yourself. But like Chris Russell said, it doesn't have to be like that. Do one of these three things that I share with you so you can stop feeling so lonely and boost your productivity. You're going to see you start doing a whole lot more when those negative loneliness feelings disappear. So thank you so very much for watching this video or listening to the replay on the podcast. I'm Dr. Priscilla Kusser of Priscilla Kusser Consulting Solutions. Remember, solutions plus actions equals results, y'all. Bye.